Hey guys, I'm Raj Gaming and I'm your coach for the Las Vegas Corviknights. We are here for a week 5 matchup and let's get into the battle. Alright, so these are the Pokemon I do not anticipate my opponent bringing. Deoxys Speed, I think he doesn't bring because Mega Absol walls it hard. It doesn't get much coverage, and I can set up with Absol on it and just destroy him. I don't really anticipate him bringing Umbreon. He could bring it if he wants a more special defensive check, but things like Koko and Dracovish just destroy it. I don't really see him bringing Milotic as well, just because Koko can potentially Calm Mind on it, and it doesn't do much against Koko. It could help with Dracovish, but I don't really see it being that valuable. And I don't see him bringing his Moltres just because I have so many things that are good against it. Dracovish destroys it, Koko destroys it, Gigalith destroys it, so I don't really anticipate it coming. Let's get in the Pokemon I do anticipate coming. I definitely think he brings Excadrill. Excadrill, being Sand variant, could be very threatening against my team. It absolutely walls Koko and can just be a problem for like Gigalith. It can hit that really hard. It can hit my team fairly hard. Dracovish can handle it fairly well, but I believe it outspeeds us in Sand. I definitely think he brings Mega Lopunny just to kind of get Chip on our team. It is a normal fighting type, so it gets stab fake outs, which could be really useful. I think he have a fighting move just to hit Gigalith really hard, and it's a fairly good Pokemon overall, so I think it could definitely help be a breaker for his team. I definitely anticipate him bringing Vikavolt. Vikavolt for webs is really good. It also helps us in electric type, so we can get our Volt switches on us. Kyurem I definitely anticipate coming, just because Freeze Dry is very good against my team. Being able to hit things like Slowking, super effective. And Dragon's also a very good typing, so I definitely think that's coming. Mimikyu I think is a possible bring because it can live one hit from anything and then fire off a Play Rough, so I kind of anticipate this maybe being a Dracovish check. Being able to potentially either lead, go for a Swords Dance, and a Play Rough could be really good, since I won't be able to kill it first turn. And Muck I highly anticipate him bringing just for Koko, because his team doesn't really appreciate Koko, so having something to take that on a little bit better could be valuable. I know he has Excadrill, but I could see it more being a offensive Excadrill and then a defensive Muck to try to deal with Koko. Let's get into the Pokemon I did not bring. So I did not bring Koko this week. I thought he had to prep a lot for it, so I didn't think it was something I should bring. I thought I had better stuff against him that he maybe wasn't prepping as hard for, so I think Koko I definitely could have been brought, but I decided against it this week. Mamoswine I just didn't think had a great matchup this week. He had things like his Mega Lopunny that can just destroy it with a fighting move. Darmanitan I didn't think was great this week just because he has stuff on his team that completely walls it, like Milotic if he wants to bring that. Darm can't do anything to that, and he has just fairly good Pokemon against it, so I decided that wasn't the best play. I did not bring Amoonguss as well, just because I didn't think he had a great matchup this week. Spore definitely could have been good, and having a grass type if he brought Milotic would have been good, but I think Milotic gets access to Ice Beam, which kind of wrecks it, and I felt like I had other things that were better. Alright, let's get into my team. To start off, we have the main wall breaker this week, Choice Band Dracovish with Vicious Run, Outrage, Leech Life, and Crunch. Vicious Run just hits his team very hard. Outrage is there for his Kyurem. Leech Life on the off chance he brings his Umbreon just to hit that super hard, and Crunch is just overall. So we are going Jolly this week. We really want to try to outspeed as much as possible, especially with him having potential for webs. And we are still doing tremendous damage with our attack. Let's get into our next Pokemon. Alright, so for the first week, we are bringing Mega Absol. I think Mega Absol is absolutely incredible this week. Stab Knockoff is ridiculously good, and it's fairly fast with base 115 speed. So we are going the Adamant Nature with max speed, max attack, Knockoff, Swords Dance, Play Rough, Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch can be really good, as there are some things like Excadrill in Sand that can outspeed us. We are able to have Play Rough, so we are able to hit that Mega Lopunny really hard, which is good. It does outspeed us, but if we predict the switch for it to come in, we can hit it with a Play Rough and kill it pretty much instantly. Swords Dance is incredible. Swords Dance Sucker Punches just do tremendous amounts of damage to pretty much the entirety of his team. If he does bring his Deoxys Speed, we have a free Swords Dance on that. That thing can't touch us, and we can go for Knockoff or Sucker Punch, depending on what we decide. is best during the situation. And this thing is incredibly threatening. If we do get 2 Swords Dances off, I think we just win with Sucker Punch. It just hits so hard. I think this is going to be really crucial Pokemon this week, and I'm really excited to use it for the first time. Let's get into our next Pokemon. Alright, so we have Slowking. We have a more defensive set this week with Leftovers, Bold Nature, Scald, Psychic, Grass Knot, and Slack Off. Scald just hits his team fairly hard overall. Psychic is good for a few of his Pokemon. We do a little bit more damage with Psychic Scald, and we don't really care about the burn. Grass Knot is there for the Milotic. It does a lot more damage than a Scald or Psychic does, and Slack Off is just there for longevity. This is going to be our main defensive wall this week, and I think he's going to be pretty good against this team. He doesn't have anything incredible. He has Vikavolt we have to watch out for, and just kind of keep that in mind, but we have a very good switch into Vikavolt, which we'll see in a second. Let's get into our next mon. We are bringing Registeel for his grand appearance. So we're bringing Registeel this week. We have Leftovers, Clear Body. So Clear Body makes it so we are not lowered by things like Sticky Webs, so that can be very useful. This is going to be our main special defensive wall. This thing can take on his team fairly well. Heavy Slam is for basically his Mimikyu. We want to make sure we have something that hits that super hard. Toxic, it can be really good. Just to get a Toxic on pretty much anything on his team would be really valuable. Seismic Toss is very good against things like his Mega. His Mega does not want to take a Seismic Toss and Protect, just to help stall out turns if we want to do the Toxic Tech Strat. Can be very useful this week, and his defense is insane. So even though we're not like Bold Nature or anything, we are able to take hits fairly well with our defense. Let's get into our next mon. We are bringing Hawlucha with the White Herb. So White Herb, if we have a move like Close Combat that lowers our stats, it will wipe those lowered stats, and then we will get our Unburden boost, so that can be really good. Swords Dance, Acrobatics, Close Combat, and Baton Pass. This thing is fairly good against this team. Being a potential sweeper, we are able to Baton Pass into something like a Dracovish or a Mega Absol. Baton Pass into Mega Absol could be insane. If we Swords Dance and he goes his Deoxys, we can Baton Pass into our Mega Absol and start sweeping. So yeah, I'm really think this set's going to be pretty good this week, and I'm looking forward to using it. Let's get into our next mon. Alright, so Gigalith is our final mon with Smooth Rock. This is going to also help with our defensive core. This is primarily there for Vikavolt and to set the sand for Dracovish. Stealth Rocks helps overall. We can break things like the Disguise on Mimikyu, I believe, breaks with a Stealth Rock. Stone Edge can be really good. Heavy Slam also is there for that Mimikyu in case it wants to set up. We are able to break it and hit it fairly hard with the Heavy Slam. Earthquake does pretty good damage overall, and Stone Edge is there for the Moltres. We hit that thing incredibly hard with the Stone Edge, and can hit things like the Vikavolt fairly well with that too. I think this is kind of the glue piece to our team, being able to provide support and some added defense against some of his bigger threats. And let's get into the battle. Alright, so he did decide to bring Moltres over his Mimikyu, so that's fine by me. I definitely did not anticipate that, because I didn't think it was great this match. He just sets up Sticky Webs to start. I'm going to go for the Stone Edge. We do get the crit, which is really fortunate. We are able to kill this thing with the Sandstorm. So that's a great start for us. Unfortunately, webs are up, but that's not the biggest deal. He goes Mega Lopunny. I have a pretty safe stay. I'm going to just stay in. And he goes for the Fake Out. That's fine. So we know one of his moves. Stab, Fake Out's fine. We are going to get a little chip from the Sandstorm. He's just going to go for the U-turn, which is fine. He goes straight into Muck. I'm going to just stay in here. I can Earthquake on the Muck. He may go Moltres, fearing the Earthquake, which he does. That's fine. It looks like Moltres is heavy duty boots, so that's good information to know. I can go for the Stone Edge here. He has Will-O-Wisp, which is interesting. So we are actually, we missed the Stone Edge, which sucks. I guess that makes up for the crit earlier, but the Stone Edge is 80% accurate move. Alright, so we're gonna go for another one. Muck takes decent damage from that. We can go for another Earthquake here if we decide to. Muck is an interesting choice. He has Focus Punch, I think. I'm going to go to Registeel here on whatever he wants to go for. He has Focus Punch. That does a fair bit of damage to us. We can go for the Heavy Slam or just the Protect, depending on what he wants to go for. He's going to go in Moltres, which is fine. I guess he was fearful. we don't do too much. We can go back into Gigalith here now that the sand is done and reset it, or we can stay in and go for the Toxic, which I think is probably a better play. We can put that Moltres on a timer, as it can be a little bit of a difficult for our team to deal with. We are going to go for the Protect here. He goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which is an interesting play, just to try to lower our attack, I guess. Even I would have thought going for the maybe he thought I'd switch into something like the Absolar. I don't know. He goes for the Flamethrower on our Gigalith switch, which is fine. This thing definitely doesn't want to stay in, but it does stay in actually and go for the Roost. I'm going to go for the Stone Edge here, and we should do a fair bit of damage if we hit. We do hit, so 46%. We are doing really good damage. And I'm not really sure what he wants to go into. I'm going to go for the Dracovish play here, because he should be knocked out by Toxic. He misses the Will-O-Wisp, so that's huge on our part, because that burn definitely would have hurt us. We still would have done a fair bit of damage. Like, I think we would have killed Excadrill with a thing. He's going to go low punny. I'm going to switch into my Slow King here on potentially fighting move that he wants to go for. He just goes for the Fake Out, just stall sand turns, which is fine. And to try to get some chip, that's fine. I can go for the Psychic here because that's going to hurt low punny. He has U-turn, so it looks like it's a more supportive set. This Muck is not, he has to be AV Muck, I think, to take that. So I'd have an easy, just another Psychic here, or Slack Off for longevity. We should be able to 1v1 this thing, no problem, and our Sandstorm's gonna knock it out, which is great. He goes Kyurem, so this is a little bit of a scary situation. So I'm gonna go Registeel on whatever he wants to go for here. We should be able to live pretty much anything. Yeah, that does nothing. Skill Shot is gonna make his defense lower, but his speed high. So that's something we have to be mindful of. If he has like a Dragon move, we should be able to take. He has Focus Blast, so that's fine. So Sand's gonna go away. I'm gonna go Gigalift here. I want to make sure I set up that Sand again, so we can beat this Kyurem. No problem. He has Focus Blast. He is able to hit it again, so that's fine. I think I have to go my Slow King because I need to get a little bit more chip for something like Absol to be able to kill him. And he has Freeze Dry too, so he's very prepared for my team. Psychic is able to get the chip we need, which is good. So we should be able to kill him with a Sucker Punch on Absol now. Freeze Dry is going to kill us, which is fine. So I can go Absol here and be able to pick this thing off with a Sucker Punch, which is good. And I'm going to Mega get that attack boost and hit him with a Sucker Punch. We are able to kill, which is great. I probably anticipate him going Excadrill here. He could go as Mega if he wants to, but just to make use of the sand turns, I think Excadrill makes sense. He's going to go for the Sword Stance. I Sword Stance as well, because that's pretty much the only way I could lose, is if I did not Sword Stance, because that thing could not kill me in one hit. So I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch and outspeed, or not outspeed, but priority, to be able to pick that thing off. And I think I go for the Sucker Punch here on the Lopunny. I won't kill, but I'll put it in range that Dracovish should be able to kill easy. And he goes for the Close Combat to kill us, which is fine. I'm going to use the last turn of Sand and switch into Dracovish, and we should be able to win. We should live, I believe, any hit he goes for here. And Vicious Wren he goes for the Close Combat. That does a lot, but we are able to live. And Vicious Wren, so that burn definitely wouldn't have mattered. So it sucks that he missed, but it definitely didn't have any impact on the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.